What's up, everybody? Let's go. Lord of the Rings ranking. Rings of Power is out. There's a Game of Thrones show as well. That's not connected to Lord of the Rings, but it is medieval fantasy. How are you all? Hopefully you watched the refresh episodes of the LEGO Lord of the Rings wave. We looked at waves 1 and 2. You can click right here to see those. Or if you just want to stick around and see me rank these things, we can just get right into it because Gandalf arrives. That's a B. I really like the Gandalf figure. I really like the new Frodo as well. It also was the cheapest way to get that really cool horse at the time. I think it makes for a really nice little disc display. I'm a big fan of sets that can replicate stuff like that. At the time, it was also the only way to get that Gandalf, so it was pretty vital to getting that, to completing the Fellowship. But the reason I probably wouldn't have it higher than that is because ultimately, in retrospect, those figures aren't nearly as desirable as they once were, so we'll put that at the B. The Shelob attack set is gonna be, that's an S. I was gonna put it at A, but no, that's an S. We get Return of the King variant of Frodo. It's the only Sam that we ever got. It's also the only, technically it's the only Gollum of that. We got Gollum later on as a Hobbit one, but it's a different variant of him, so that's pretty cool. I like the Shelob as well, but those figures, and it's very rare. There's only a handful of Return of the King sets. At the time, this was the only one. I guess that makes sense why 2 sets in Wave 2 were Return of the King based. It was a very underutilized, underrepresented movie, but I'm gonna put that in the S tier right there. I love that set so much. It's so nostalgic for me. The next set is the Urakai Army, which I'm going to put as a B. It's really neat that they decided to add like a battle pack sort of thing for the Lord of the Rings. You get a neat little army build of some Urakai, but you also get Rohan soldiers. This is apparently the only Rohan soldier we got. I could have sworn we got some others somewhere down the line, but I guess the only other set that they could have come in was the Helms Deep. So yeah, this is the only one. You'll get multiples of Aemir, but still you can just like take off his cape, give him a different weapon, and maybe he's just a captain of some sorts. I think it's really cool. The wall build is nice as well. It's pretty barren. It's pretty bare on the back of it. It's just lots of really nice front details. The ballista's really nice as well. Good horse. It's pretty cool. I'm just personally not really a repetitive buyer type person, so 1's enough for me. The Weathertop set, I'm putting in the A. I think it's really nice. It really grew on me over time. The figures are pretty great. It's the only way that you can get those ring rates. You get the scary horses in black now. You also get Mary, which is really nice. It's the cheapest way to get Aragon, even though Aragon became quite common across a bunch of other sets. I think it's really cool. Our next set is the Mines of Moria, which I'll tepidly put at a B, but I would also be tempted to drop it to a C. Allow me to explain. There's a lot that is genuinely perfect about this. The cave troll is so cool. They had just started experimenting with these big figs. We also had Boromir and Pippin and Legolas, so we officially finished the Fellowship. This set ended up coming with the most amount of Fellowship members. It's really nice. There's some great details as well with like books scattered around and weaponry and skeleton bones and like decrepit ruins. The tomb's really cool. The well's really cool. But in retrospect, this set features reddish brown pieces to build the door, and when I was taking my Mines of Moria apart all these years later, my door snapped in half. There's a lot of pieces in this that feature that color. I understand that not everybody's set will be like this, and it could just be like a rare occurrence for me, but it has soured my taste on that set over the years. So still love it for the figures. You need it for Boromir and for Pippin at the very least, so I still think it's a good set. I just wish that it, LEGO had better quality control. Our final set from the original wave is the Helms Deep, which I'll put as a B tier. I think that the set makes for a really nice looking display. Helms Deep has a very iconic long walkway up to the big door, and it's got the really cool wall that can break apart as well. Very tall tower that Gimli climbs up. It's really nice, but the inside of the castle just kind of sucks. It's pretty similar to SpongeBob sets actually. It's pretty facade-ish. It's just like a really nice little front details, really nice looking build, and then on the inside there's just like nothing. If they were to redo this now, I think LEGO would crush doing this. I think they'd make like a really good looking Helms Deep. So I'm gonna put it there. Really nice figures as well, by the way. And then I think this was a store exclusive, was the Orc Forge, which I'd put probably as a probably has a B as well. I think that the Orc Forge is a really cool looking display piece. It had some okay figures. It came with the first mortal orc though, which are my personal favorite ones, even though they're very repetitive. It also came with lurts. It has the armor pieces with the white hand as well. Those are really nice as well. There's a lot that's really cool about it. It kind of reminds me of like the Genosian droid factory. Is just like, can build your little, can build up a little army here. So I thought it was cool. We then enter the 2013 era with the final wave of Lord of the Rings set. The first set is the Wizard Battle, which I'm putting at a C tier. It's a nice cheap way to get a Saruman minifigure. A better Saruman minifigure would come out though. Gandalf is here. I'm pretty sure we ended up getting Gandalf with his hair in other sets later on as well, so that's nothing. This whole set ends up being remade later on as well in a better set. I don't know, it's okay, but it's a bite-sized version of a much better set that would come later. I won't throw it in D because it's still nice to have a cheap, viable way of getting some desirable stuff from Lord of the Rings, but this set's not really doing anything for me. The Council of Elrond I'll put at a B tier, I think, tepidly, but I'd also feel like a C. Let's put it at like a B.5, like a right in between here. It's nice. It has really nice figures as well, but it's so small, it's so cramped. It's just too cramped, I think. And repeating Frodo and Gimli again, like, we could have had Legolas with his poncho. Aragon's wearing different clothing in the scene as well. There could have been some really cool ideas with doing a Rivendell set, and I think that this one's nice, and I appreciate it, but could be better, could be much better. The Black Gate, I'll put as a C. The figures are so good. They are so good here. They really are. It gave us an eagle, which is really cool. You also get that black horse again, but you get Gandalf the White, you get Aragon as king, and you also get the Mouth of Sauron. It's really nice. They are really great figures, but it's just a tall, dark tower. It's not even really a tall, dark tower, my bad. It's a gate. It's a gate and like a little tower bench thing, and it suggests buying 2 of them so you can have 4 doors for some reason. It's not really my thing. Then we have the pirate ship ambush, which I'll put as an A, partially because I don't own it. It's the one set that's escaped me, but it's a really nice looking boat. The figures are pretty nice. There's only a very minor handful of repeats. You get a Legolas again. It's the second time that he had appeared in a Lord of the Rings set. Yet another Gimli, yet another Aragon. But you do get the ghosts, including the king, which is really nice. You get a Peter Jackson figure as well, which is also really nice. The sails make for a very iconic looking silhouette design as well. It's nice. It's a very nice looking ship. It complements the Queen Anne's Revenge one quite nicely, I feel. And then the last set is the Tower of Orthanc. This included a Treebeard Ent type, this included an Eagle, this included Grim of Wormtongue and a Saruman, and it was of a very iconic build, and this also gets bumped into the A tier. I remember it being expensive, but it's so cool. It comes with the same, I think it comes with the same Gandalf and Saruman figure, but the Saruman has a dress piece as well as his legs. You know, it's one of those ones that just completely voids the purpose of buying this little wizard battle. Star Wars tends to do that quite a lot, doesn't it? I really like this one. I was amazed that I got it for my birthday when I was a kid. It's just so cool. It's a really great theme. It really is. A couple of they're not even really duds. They're just not as good as they could have been. But those S tier, A tier, and B tier, man, it's such a good theme. I really wish it would come back. That's my definitive list of the ranking of the LEGO Lord of the Rings sets. What do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Let us know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this, then remember, liking and subscribing really helps out the channel a lot. Make sure that you return next week because we will be starting our look at the Hobbit waves. We'll be going through every wave week to week, finally ending with us ranking all of the Hobbit sets as well as then comparing them to the Lord of the Rings sets. Hope you enjoyed this episode. See you in the next one.